So let's get into the journey of you and how you came to build your brand. You've not always been CEO and founder of Billion Dollar Beauty. Let's start at the beginning. And listeners, you are in for a treat because Natalie has a story about being a White House intern. Yes, a White
Yeah.
House intern. So let's start at the beginning. What did you want to be when you grew up?
If you had told me I'd be a White House intern, working with President Clinton, Hillary Clinton, all of her press secretary staff, VIP writing staff, speech writing staff, researching staff, I would, it was funny because I found an old photo of me as a young girl. I always wanted to be a journalist. But I was standing in front of the White House outside the gates with my family, the family trip to Washington, D.C. You got to see the White House. And at that time, they were giving tours, and I took a tour, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Wow. But it never dawned on me that I could connect my love of journalism with the White House literally 10 years later from the time that photo was taken. I've always been the art of writing, telling stories. And when my passion kind of merged in college of what journalism and White House aspirations could be, I applied to be a White House intern based on my love of, at that time, Brian Williams was a news anchor for NBC News here in the States. And he was a White House intern too. And I said, well, if Brian did that, and now he's a White House correspondent at that time, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm a huge fan of following people's legacies. How did they get there? Well, again, it's step by step, internship by internship, job by job. And really, once you have access to something, take advantage of it. And so I have that playbook in my back pocket at all times, whether now I'm obviously in a different, C-suite level, but at that time as an intern, I took full advantage of being in the room, right? Being at the table, listening ears on, and making sure that I had a notepad and a pencil or a pen to take notes. And that's pretty much my playbook.
Oh, I love that. Take advantage of your opportunities, be ready, and say, I belong here. I'm here, aren't I? So I belong here. So now let me lean in and take advantage of everything this has to offer. Love that. All right. So after you graduated college, well, from the internship to graduating college, what came next?
Yes, graduating college, I got the internship on the heels of my graduation. So it was 1995. Yeah, 1995, fall of 1995, stepped in intern. I thought it would be a stint. No, really what was intended. I was going to be writing speech of President Clinton and the First Lady. And, ironically, my colleague is Monica Lewinsky. And so after college and after going through that whole experience and then later discovering that my colleague was caught up in this, what was a controversial historical history scandal. It was really hard because that internship that I was so proud of was going to be that, on my resume that was going to, remember getting calls from stations who I was going to get employment following, and they all just wanted to talk about Monica, and I was like, whoa, how is it affect me long term? Because the work that I did in the White House, is, kind of overriding. It taught me a little about how politics of power and using it to my advantage. I would get a lot of meetings, again, room, getting that call back, sort of nature of business. I started to master that. And that was really my going. I wanted the business side of journalism and later the cosmetics industry.